BBC World, putting news first.
Will Iran comply with the United Nations resolution? A failed assassination attempt on Hassan Nasrallah, the leader of Hezbollah. And the continuing crisis in Darfur, fresh attacks by the Janjaweed. You're watching BBC World. This is Jonathan Charles reporting from Bush House, London. Our first story today takes place in Lebanon. A failed assassination attempt on the leader of Hezbollah, Hassan Nasrallah, has taken place several hours ago. We go now live to our reporter, Sonia Abdullah, based in Beirut.
Thank you, Jonathan. Last night there was an assassination attempt on the Hezbollah leader, Hassan Nasrallah. A car bomb went off, killing 2 security personnel, but Nasrallah survived. A leader of Hezbollah released a statement saying that Nasrallah is in stable but critical condition, and doctors think that he will survive. His location is still unknown. Tension is currently running high in the streets of Lebanon, with demonstrations in Shia-dominated areas. Many shops have been closed. Lebanese leaders have called for peace throughout the country. The international community has expressed concern over this situation, with the United Nations Secretary General releasing a statement calling for calm. This is Sonia Abdullah reporting for BBC. Back to you, Jonathan.
Thank you, Sonia, for that report. That was our reporter, Sonia Abdullah, live in Beirut, Lebanon. Next, we go to Sudan, where in the western region of Darfur, fresh attacks by Janjaweed militias have been taking place. Our reporter in the field is on the line.
Today, there are new reports coming out of Sudan about a fresh wave of violence in Darfur. Attacks were carried out overnight by large groups of Janjaweed who have been involved in increasingly frequent and violent destruction of Darfur villages. The number of refugees and internally displaced people continues to rise. This escalation is creating greater problems for neighboring countries such as Chad, where refugees are headed. In more news, Khartoum-supported Janjaweed militias are now crossing Chad's borders to attack refugee camps located there. This has caused Chad to call on the UN for a fast resolution. The current African Union peacekeeping force has been seen as largely ineffective in halting this crisis. In recent weeks, new developments have led to the acceptance in principle of a multinational force to be sent to Darfur. However, the number of troops to be sent depends on negotiations with Khartoum. They will only be allowed to operate on a limited basis and in conjunction with the African Union. It remains to be seen if there will be a halt to the violence. This has been Solomon Richards reporting for BBC.
Further efforts to bring North Korea to 6-party talks have not come to fruition. Our reporter Jason Kim in Seoul will tell us more. Jason?
Thank you, John. We've just received reports that informal talks between North Korea and the United States have stalled. The North Korean government claims that there was a major misunderstanding about the nature of the negotiations and that the United States was not acting in good faith. Pyongyang claims that it was prepared to return to 6-party talks on the understanding that it would be a 2-track process, accompanied by continued direct negotiations with the United States. The United States representative, Chris Hall, claims that the nature of the talks was clear and that they were only meant to resume 6-party negotiations. At the moment, it appears that the slow process of getting North Korea back to the table has stalled once again. This is Jason Kim reporting from Seoul.
On the Mediterranean island of Cyprus, the 2 factions of the Greek Cypriots and the Turkish Cypriots have finally come together for talks on reconciliation.
The island of Cyprus has once more come to the attention of the European Union. Representatives from the Greek Cypriot and the Turkish Cypriot communities announced today that there would be a new round of reconciliation talks. Tassos Papadopoulos, leader of the Republic of Cyprus, and Rauf Denktash, leader of the breakaway Turkish Cypriot community, are scheduled to meet in Nicosia, the island's capital, for preliminary discussion and to set the agenda for further talks. This is the second time a serious reconciliation attempt has been made in recent years. These talks follow a failed referendum on reconciliation in 2004. This is Susan Palmer reporting for the BBC. Back to you, Jonathan.
And some news just in. Unconfirmed reports have told of unrest in the former capital of Myanmar, Yangon. As far as we can gather, there has been a large pro-democracy demonstration in support of the leader of the National League for Democracy, Aung San Suu Kyi, who is currently held under house arrest. According to eyewitness reports, military vehicles were on the scene within minutes, opening fire on the unarmed civilians and arresting all the survivors. Reports as to the number of casualties vary from 20 up to 100. This is not the first time that the military junta has gunned down protesters. On the 8th of August 1988, the military fired on unarmed civilians protesting against the junta's harsh rule, killing over 3,000 civilians. We will keep you updated as to the situation as it develops. I have with me tonight a guest. Dr. Jacques Gauthier is one of the International Atomic Energy Agency's top scientists investigating the Islamic Republic of Iran's nuclear program. Dr. Gauthier is leading inspections into Iranian responses to UN Resolution 1737. Dr. Gauthier, what do you think Iran is going to do next?
I do not believe Iran will comply with the United Nations Security Council resolution. This resolution calls for sanctions on Iran, and these sanctions consist of the ban of all trade with Iran in terms of nuclear and missile material, as well as they call for the IAEA to report within 60 days to the Security Council about Iran's compliance with their officials. However, President Mahmoud Ahmadinejad has said that he views these sanctions as illegal, and the Iran legislator has said that they will revise the role with the IAEA.
What exactly do you mean when you say that the role will be revised with the IAEA?
I believe that this is more ambiguity from Iran on their nuclear forefront. We know that they're currently building centrifuges in Natanz in order to enrich uranium. As well, they are currently building a heavy water reactor in Iraq that is meant to enrich plutonium. Also, raw uranium has been found on their land. So for these three reasons, we believe that the resolution will not be successful.
Thank you very much, Doctor. That was the BBC World reporting here from London. Stay with me for our next update in 1 hour.